let's just get started with why should you self-publish? First of all, no more rejection letters. If you are out there and you're traditionally trying to get published, you are probably doing query letters and sending your manuscripts around, and there's a lot of no's. I think I've heard recently, on average, it takes a good 10 years to get established enough to get traditionally published. And to me, that is just way too long. Can you imagine what you can get done in 10 years self-publishing? So the other thing for me that really drew me in is the control. I never thought about traditional publishing because I tend to be a bit of a control freak. I want to choose my own characters. I want to choose my illustrator. I want to have control over everything because I have it in my head exactly what I want to get done. And with a traditional publisher, you don't necessarily have that. Also, with self-publishing, you get to keep 100% of the royalties. You're not getting a small advance and the publisher is keeping a percentage. Your illustrator might be getting a percentage. And there's a lot of work that goes into this. So why not, if you're going to do this for yourself, why shouldn't you keep the royalties? With self-publishing, it's also quicker to market. So instead of taking a couple of years to go from, they just accepted your contract to now I'm published, you can get things done in months. And for some of my students, I think the record is 4 weeks. So we had to go from, just having done the manuscript to finishing and publishing the book. So it is a much quicker turnaround, and you're going to be able to get a lot more accomplished in less time. The most important thing, I think, with self-publishing, what I love so much is the indie author community. There is an amazing group of people that you can work with, that you will join Facebook groups and get together. I know that my author work group, which we run a couple times a year, during the pandemic, it was just amazing how that blossomed. People were having a lot of extra time on their hands. They were trying to do self-publishing, and we came together as a community in this work group to do it. And the bond that happened with these 20 or so people that were taking the course at that time was just amazing. And I've seen these long-term friendships develop and so much more cross-promotion happening. And every one of them, as they moved forward to publish their book, had 19 other people sharing their content and helping to get the word out. And they just built off of one another. It was just something really special to watch. And I see that within the indie author community. And it's not something that I see quite as strongly when it comes to the traditional side of publishing. So let's talk a little bit about self-publishing versus traditional publishing. So with self-publishing, you don't need an agent. You don't need to do any querying. With traditional, it may take years going through agents and publishers to just get accepted so that they will start considering you for publishing. With self-publishing, this is, on the negative side, right? Self-publishing, you do have to pay for a lot of the activities that you're doing. You're going to get an editor, and you're going to do things that normally, if you were going through a publisher, they would pay for. The illustrations, if you're self-publishing, that's yours to pay. And the activities of like designing and publishing your book, you're going to learn how to do that yourself, but there's an investment that's required. On the other side of things, the publisher may pay, but again, you're able to take the information, the investment that you're making, and make sure that you're going to get those royalties turning around. So there are pros and cons to traditional publishing and to self-publishing. The pro that I really love is the control. We talked about that. On the traditional side, the publisher is really going to decide on a lot of those things that I would want to have control over. With self-publishing, you need to build your own team. Typically, a traditional publisher will have publishing resources like illustrators and editors and people that they work with. For self-publishing, you're going to have to build that team yourself. And in the course of putting my program together, I have seen people get stuck here and not be able to find an editor or find an illustrator that they really could connect with. So part of what I've done in my program is put together a really strong group of people that are pre-vetted and that you'll be able to work with, similar to what a publisher does with their own resources, except you get to be the one choosing from that list and connecting. So, that part of it is taken out for you. with going through some of the programs that I'll be talking about a little bit later. You also need to market yourself. With a traditional publisher. They do, like within the first month or two of a book publishing, they're going to do a lot of press, maybe send you on some author visits or book signings. And then after a couple of months, you're kind of on your own. So you're going to have to do some marketing of yourself and your book anyway. However, with self-publishing, you really need to be building those marketing muscles. And so that's another reason why I do focus a lot on that in my programs and coaching as well. And you keep the royalties. The way that the traditional publisher works, they'll give you an advance. I think it's about, could be anywhere from a couple $100 to $1,000. Infrequently, it's more than that. And then they'll take you, as your book sells, they'll kind of give you the royalties, but take it off of what they've already paid you. So until that advance gets paid down, then you will start receiving additional money from the publisher. So it's a little bit different. Again, there are pros and cons either way as you're going through this. If you're thinking, you know what, I don't want to pay, I don't want to do marketing, and I'm okay if the publisher takes more control, then perhaps traditional publishing is the right route for you. If you are more like me, somebody who wants to make a living out of this, you want to learn the process, you want to publish your books, you want to rapidly release things and build those 20 books, out there to get to that 50K, right? There's this 20 books to 50K kind of programs out there that'll tell you that in order to really start making a living, you need to be publishing more books, and you're not going to be able to do that through traditional publishing as quickly as you can with self-publishing. So again, it's not for everybody, but certainly is something that I absolutely love. And I'll introduce you to some of the people that I work with who have done a great job with self-publishing as well. And the quicker to market could be years for traditional, and self-publishing, it's quick.